I see here that we have some more people that have joined us. So welcome to those who just joined. And I think that we are able to start now. So I'm now leaving the floor to our panelists for their presentation. So I will see you in a bit and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandra. My name's Tom and I'm Marketing Executive with the University of Essex Online. I'm just going to give a very brief introduction to why you should study with the University of Essex Online, and then I'll pass over to my colleague Megan, who will discuss the courses we offer. So why study with Essex Online? First of all, you'll gain a recognised qualification with the university, which is ranked in the top 40 of universities in the UK. We put an emphasis on the classroom experience with experienced academics who bring real-world perspectives to your studies. We have programs that focus on employability, equipping students with sector-specific skills and optional modules to allow you to tailor the course to your specialism. Furthermore, we are rated silver in the Teaching Excellence Framework. We offer an interactive learning platform which is available to students 24/7. Following the panelist presentations, we will be showing a short demonstration of the learning platform that we provide, just to give you a good feel for how you will experience your studies with us should you choose to apply. We have a cohort of tutors who ensure a quick response to student emails. There are opportunities for one-to-one sessions with tutors and live Q&A sessions and seminars. All our programs are 100% online and part-time, which are designed to fit around your lifestyle. No in-person attendance is required. However, you can attend graduation once you have completed your studies. And with that, I'll pass over to Megan.
I'm not unmuted. There we go. Hi, I'm Megan Woolston-Home. I'm Programme Coordinator for the Psychology Academics team here at the University of Essex Online. But I am just going to cover a couple of the other programmes that we have here at a postgraduate level. So we'll start off with business. We have Project Management, which is an MSc looking at developing personal and professional skills alongside practical techniques in project management. We have a few business courses. The Masters of Business Management, that's the General Business Masters. We have the MSc in Business and Management specialising in Business Analytics, MSc in International Human Resource Management, and one in Global Digital Marketing and Business with Finance. So quite a few different courses that also have other aspects like finance, marketing, analytics, that kind of thing. We have specialised, that's what I just said, we have specialisations in all these different things. And we also have an MSc Supply Chain Management and Global Logistics course, emphasising sustainability, supply chain management, marketing channels and transport. So that's it for our business postgraduate ones. If we could just go on to, thank you very much, the next slide. So we're going on to our computing programs. We have 5 of these. So MSc Computer Science, Cybersecurity, Data Science, Artificial Intelligence, Enterprise IT Management. And these are all focusing very strongly on problem solving and technical skills. And then next we have Education. We have the Masters of Education course, looking at fostering innovative teaching methods, and then some health programs. So we have public health, healthcare management, infection control, nursing and global mental health and well-being, and these are all taught by industry leaders. On to the next slide, please. And onto our next subjects, we have criminology. So we have the MSc in criminology, and then also one in criminal psychology. So these are addressing crime origins, offender treatment, and defining crimes. And then my speciality is psychology. So we have the MSc Psychology as a base, and then also the MSc Organisational Psychology, which is more business focused. It's supposed to sort of go from your undergraduate psychology degree to work up and extend your knowledge from that. But we have had people join who, I think it's the same with all programs at postgraduate, who have a different background, and then they come in and start something a bit new, but at a postgraduate level. So maybe if you've got a background in business, you could do organizational psychology and learn a bit more about organizations and the psychology in business. And then finally, we have our law course, which is the LLM in International Business Law. This focuses on transnational contract law, WTO operations and competition law at national and international levels. All programs culminate in a dissertation, which allows independent research in a chosen area related to the program. But you don't do a dissertation if you're doing one of the lower levels, for example, a PG Cert or a PG Dip. It's just the MSc courses that have the dissertation at the end. So if you wanted to do a cert, you wouldn't need to worry about a dissertation. And I'll just talk about a couple of the assignment sort of modes, formats that we have. So the main ones we have are written assignments and discussion forums, I'd say. But then we also have things like journals, which encourages reflective practice. There are some like poster presentations. For example, with law, there's like client interviews, that kind of thing. So there's lots of different online assessment formats. We've had to obviously work a bit around a traditional on-campus setting, so everything's adapted for online. And yeah, I think that's about it from me. I'll pass you on to Hannah from Student Support, and can we change the slide, please?
Perfect. Thanks, Meg. Like Meg said, hi, I'm Hannah. I work in our student support team at University of Essex Online. So today I'm going to be taking us through the 4 different support teams that we have available to you as a student, and just the different ways in which we can support you, and just to give you more details about our different teams and when you might expect to hear from us or would be able to contact us. So we do have 4 different teams. We're broken down into student support, study skills support, student welfare, and student experience. All right, next slide, please. Perfect. So firstly, I'll take us through our student support team, which is the team that I'm involved in. So a very unique aspect of our student support is that we have a dedicated support team for each program that we have. So like Meg's just taken us through all the different courses that you can study, we do have a student support team for each area. So for example, if you were enrolled into a business course, you would have a dedicated business support team. So all this really does is make sure that we can provide you with the specific information that you would need, and we can sort of assess your individual situation better so that we can advise you correctly. So we are very familiar with all of your modules, with your specific module assignments. And it also means that you would become familiar with our student support team. So you would hopefully be accessing the same advisors throughout the entirety of your study. So it just means that we can get to know you as a student and your situation on a more personal level. So we are a general point of contact for students. So we offer non-academic advice. We can advise on pastoral circumstances. So if there ever was a personal situation that you wanted to contact us about, we can advise on the best course of action in that case. We are involved in advising on our policies and procedures at the university. So if you ever wanted to apply for any of our support policies that we have, that's absolutely something that we can discuss with you. We also offer advice on minor technical support. So if you ever did have any issues with the learning platform, for example, or accessing your eLibrary account, you would have an eLibrary available to you as well as a student. These are all situations that we can look into. And of course, if we weren't able to figure out the issue, or there was a situation where we would not be the correct team to contact, we can always put you in contact with the team that would be able to answer your questions. So we do just like to say that we are a general point of contact for your course. And again, like I mentioned, we are a non-academic support team. So even though we are connected with your course specifically, we are non-academic. So we cannot offer any course content specific advice. But of course, you would always have a module tutor like Meg, who would be able to answer your question for your course. So you would always have that academic support, and we could always get you in contact with the correct module tutor. So we are available by phone, by email, or by live chat function. So we do have a live chat function that is on the learning platform as well. So we are contactable between Monday and Thursday between 8:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. And then on Fridays at 5 p.m. So we do try to get back to you within 24 hours. And of course, we have our phone and live chat for more urgent questions. Okay, next slide. Perfect. So now moving on, we have our study skills team. And our study skills team are another more academic support team that we have. They offer general academic advice. So things like referencing, academic writing, or assignment structuring. So if there's any areas that you might be unsure of or you might feel like you need more support with coming into the university, they're always willing to help you with that. So after you've completed your induction, you can also book one-to-one sessions with our study skills team. So if there was ever an area where you wanted to go through something in more in depth, or you had an assignment that you needed further help with, you can always book that one-to-one support session. And of course, we also have wider workshops available. So if you did want to join one of those workshops, they're available to all students to join. And they are also contactable by phone and by email between Monday and Friday, 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. UK hours. All right, next. Next slide. Thank you. So now we have our student welfare team. And with our student welfare team, we also have our disability support. And our disability support team are able to help you with any concerns you have coming into the course or when you're already enrolled onto the course about adjustments for a disability. So this is always something we're able to have the conversation with, even if it's something that you throughout the entirety of your degree. So we do have reasonable adjustments that are made so that our courses are accessible for all students. So this is specific and tailored to your individual needs. And that's something that our disability officers can always discuss with you to work out what might be best for you and your course specifically. We also have well-being and mental health resources that our student welfare team makes available on our learning platform. So this is always good to access if this is something you feel like would be beneficial to you. And they would also be always available on the learning platform. You can always contact our student welfare officers as well if you wanted more individual support, and they can also recommend external local resources for you to access as well. Oh, sorry. Go back. Sorry, can we go back? Oh, perfect. Thank you. And then lastly, I'll just mention we have our safeguarding officers. And our safeguarding officers are something that protect our student body. So if there ever was a situation where you needed more urgent support or you were concerned about another student on the course, we always recommend to contact student support or our safeguarding officers, and they would be able to help you in that instance. Okay, perfect. Thanks. Next slide. And lastly, the last team that I'll cover is our student experience team. So in student experience, they offer a variety of things across the university, but mainly we have our social forums, which are a really good chance to meet and talk to other students on your course, even though we are a distance course, as well as other students that are studying at the same time that might be in a different course to you. We also have a student council, so if that's something that you want to be involved in, that is an option. And our student council members meet on a regular basis just to discuss changes to the course or ways that the course could be improved. And we also have module surveys. So at the end of every module that you would be enrolled in, you do have the opportunity to provide feedback on that module, whether it be positive feedback or things that you wish could have been improved. We also have those module surveys you can complete. We also offer careers guidance from the student experience team. So we have a careers guidance webpage that gives you resources on potential jobs, job postings, different career paths that you can look into at the end of your degree. So if you come into the course and you're really just not sure what you want to do next, that's a really good resource to access. And then lastly, we have our graduation. So like we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, even though you would be an online student, you do have the option of attending an in-person graduation at our Colchester campus at the end of your degree. So the student experience team organize everything around graduation, your attendance, your enrollment, just to make sure everything goes smoothly that you are able to attend. Amazing. And I think that's it from me and all of our support team. So now I'll just pass on to admissions and we can go to the next slide.
Thank you, Hannah. So I'm Tyler and I'm going to touch on the admissions process as an admissions advisor for the University of Essex. So how it does begin is you will submit an application through our website. This is free and there is no application fee. Once we have your application, this will go directly to your personal admissions advisor who will work with you across the full admissions process. Once they have all of the supporting documents from you, they will then begin to review the application, and this will be reviewed by the admissions team and the academic heads. And then usually you will have an application outcome within 48 hours. So we do try to do a very quick turnaround. Once your application has been approved, you'll be contacted by phone or email to confirm your start date and preferred payment method, and then we can then process your offer letter for you. Usually your acceptance and payment is due within 14 working days from receiving your offer letter. Of course, that does change if the enrolment deadline is before that 14-day period. Next slide, please. So in terms of entry requirements for our postgraduate courses, we offer 2 different entry routes. You can enter through the academic route. It does slightly differ for each subject. However, usually the baseline is that we do ask you have an undergraduate degree from an approved institution equivalent to a UK honours degree or a relevant professional qualification. If you do not have an academic background, we also welcome different work experience routes. So again, this will differ from each course subject. However, for example, if you are applying for the Masters in Business and Management, we will ask for 5 years senior level work experience. Whereas if you apply, for example, a health related course, we will ask for 3 years relevant work experience in that sector. Lastly, if English isn't your first language, we do ask that you have an IELTS score of 6, or we do offer a free English test available to all students who apply. Next slide, please. Yeah, so now we will touch on tuition fees. As you can see them displayed on the screen, they are split into UK and international fees for our 23 to 24 academic year. Please note this will change after the July intake, so it is good to keep in mind. However, currently for the postgraduate certificate, it is £4,056 for UK students and £4,143 for international. For the postgraduate diploma, £8,111 for UK and £8,285 for international. And then lastly, for our full master's course, this is £12,167 for UK and £12,428 for international. Of course, all of these tuition fees are shown are net of any applicable sales tax payable by your country of residence, but that can be confirmed by the admissions team once you inquire. Next slide, please. So yeah, we will touch upon payment methods, discounts and scholarships available. So if you do choose to apply for a full master's programme and you live in England, you may be eligible for a postgraduate tuition fee loan from Student Finance England. To be eligible, you need to have lived in England for the past 3 years, and you must not have a postgraduate qualification, and you must not have had postgraduate funding previously. As well as that, students can choose to pay through a monthly instalment plan to better spread the payments, or you can pay in full upfront and receive a 5% discount. Some students who have studied with us at undergraduate level do choose to progress to a master's, so they would be eligible for a 10% alumni discount, as well as students who have previously studied on campus as well. They would be eligible for that discount. Again, we do offer further scholarships for students residing in specific regions outside of the UK. This can be confirmed by your admissions advisor upon request. Currently, it is important to note that we do offer a 20% impact scholarship for certain courses for the full MSc, but this is for our April intake only. So the intake begins on the 16th of April and this 20% scholarship is only available for them. As well as that, due to the 60th anniversary of the University of Essex, a 10% scholarship is available for all master's courses up until the end of July. Lastly, once you do decide choose your payment method and you pay for your course fees, you will be eligible for a 21-day money-back guarantee. Next slide, please. So yeah, next steps, if you have sorry, I can't speak. If you like what you've heard today, then the next step would be to submit an application for one of the courses. So when you do submit an application, this will be done on our website, as mentioned, at online.essex.ac.uk/apply, and we will ask for a 300 to 500 word personal statement. You can keep this brief. All we ask is that it mentions why you have chosen to study your course and why you have chosen to study online. We then ask for a form of ID. This must include your full name and date of birth and must not be expired. Then we ask for your educational certificates and your transcripts. So if you are applying for a postgraduate course and you are applying through the academic route, for example, we would ask for your bachelor degree and transcripts. And then we do ask for a copy of your CV, just in case you do decide to go down the work experience route. We can talk to you and advise which sort of references we can request. And yeah, additional documents may later be requested, but this again would be confirmed by the admissions advisor. Next slide.
Tyler, and thank you, Hannah and Megan. Also, I'm just going to, as I mentioned before, just going to show you a brief demonstration of the virtual learning platform that we provide during your studies. Just get the video now.
Hi everyone, my name is Anu Laitakari and I am the Head of Learning Technology here at University of Essex Online. Our Learning Technology team maintains, manages and develops the learning platform, concentrating on what a learning module looks like. I have logged in as a student, so you will be able to see everything from a student point of view. The learning platform really is the key platform for all of our students. This is the platform you will access all your learning materials, such as your study modules and reading lists, and you will also find information about the university policies, the support you will be able to receive, and our student welfare information, etc. On the home page, under the banner, we have the user guide, which will be a helpful start when you start your journey as a University of Essex Online student. Should you need any more help, above this, our knowledge base is a really good starting point. You will be able to search for help articles within the knowledge base, and these are really, really helpful throughout your studies. This is also where you can access live chat and contact the student support team during office hours. And this is also where we keep the UK time. So if you're an international student, you will always be able to know what time it is in the UK. At the top in the menu, you will be able to find really important information about contacting us, about our student support and welfare support areas, and how to contact people in those departments and what services are on offer, as well as really important aspects of our student life, such as community forums and student voice. We also have direct access to the University of Essex Library and the reading lists via the top menu. Your dashboard is part of your learning community, and each department has a separate one. In this case, the student is an education student. So let's have a quick look at some of these resources. Each department has their own section in the learning platform, and it gives really important resources about that specific department, including newsletters, etc., to keep you up to date on what's happening in the department. Reading lists, which I won't show to you today, are available via the University of Essex Talis service, 24/7, and these contain direct links to the readings within modules. And then you have a direct link here to your support team, so you'll be able to get in contact with your support team really easily. You're never far away from support with University of Essex Online. On your dashboard, you also have your deadlines for any assignments and a direct link to add submissions. So it's really, really easy to add a submission. And we have a calendar where you can add your own events, and this also shows any deadlines that are due. You can access your modules via My Modules, and this is a view that you can change depending on your preferences. At the moment, I'm just viewing modules which are in progress, and I've decided to view the full summary. Let's have a quick look at one of our study modules. So this is the first module on the postgraduate education programs, and it's titled Philosophy of Education and Theories of Learning and Teaching. Before we have a look at the content, I'd just like to draw your attention to the menu. Firstly, the menu can be closed if you want more space for your study content. Secondly, all our modules are structured in a similar way, starting from module home and ending in unit 12 or beyond this module, depending on the program. Once you start your first study module, you therefore know where everything is in terms of your learning content, and you do not need to relearn the navigation for every single module you take. Before I show you some of the content, I would also like to mention that this is an education program, and if you're taking another program, the activities, the formative assessment, etc., may differ depending on the program you are taking. So typically on a module home, we would have an introduction to the module, a syllabus of the module, and the module learning aims and outcomes as well. We have module announcements, which allows your tutor to post notifications to the group, and a student lounge, which allows you to discuss things with your peers in this module. We then have tutor office information, including the tutor office hours. And your tutor is really, really good at getting back to your replies. So we have a tutor SLA, which means that the tutors need to get back to any of your queries 24 hours during the working week. It's Monday to Friday, and 48 hours over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, excluding bank holidays. We also add our deadline details to the module pages as well. So we have this table with direct links to the different elements of the summative components and our deadlines here. And you note that all the deadlines are the same, 23:55 Monday, and that is UK time. So again, really easy to remember when all the deadlines are. The tutor SLA also applies in the deadline details. All the feedback and grades will be returned to you 7 days after the final deadline for that specific summative assignment has gone. So you will be able to hopefully take some of the feedback, apply it to your future assignments within the same module, and improve your outcomes. All modules have live sessions. Sometimes this can be called seminars, sometimes Q&As, and sometimes workshops. And the session schedule is available in each module. If you cannot make it to a live session, because we do realize that a lot of our students have other things to do when the session might take place, all of these live sessions are recorded and posted in the module announcement, so you will be able to view and listen back on any session during the duration of this module. Module resources is a really important place in terms of common content for the module, including reading lists, grading criteria, and a Turnitin sandbox. And the reading list is a really good starting point for the module when you start a new module. It is a very interactive way of ensuring that you read throughout your module. We provide a core ebook for each of our modules, and we use a platform called VitalSource to do this. The reason we've chosen this platform is that it has a lot of accessibility features. It allows students to create notes and bookmarks and potentially share this with their peers. And there's a lot of opportunities to change, for example, the color and the font size, and make other adjustments to the visual elements of the book. There's also a search function, so you can search through the entire book as well. The units are also structured in a similar way, with a short introduction and the aims and the outcomes for that week, and then the content and the learning activities that take place during this particular unit week. So in this unit, we have a lecture cast. I will get back to that and show you what it looks like. Reading, which we also add into the units, and then activities. So in this module, we have a collaborative Padlet board that the students have been asked to post on. I'm going to jump to Unit 10 to show you a lecture cast, and this is about inclusive education. So the lecture casts are multimedia presentations. They contain video and audio components, some interactive activities, and also text and images as well. And quite often they also contain check your knowledge sections like this one, which allows you, which are usually multiple choice questions, and query your understanding of the content you have just looked at.
Inclusion as a human right. Despite legislative documents and human rights acts, many teachers, students and parents are still confused about what inclusive education means in practical terms and how it translates into pedagogical choices for the inclusive classroom. According to Graham,
I won't play the whole thing, but you can see that is very interesting. It is also thought-provoking as well as informative. Going to the final unit, we have an opportunity for all of our students to provide feedback. And we really, really value our students' feedback. And students will be able to feedback on at the end of each module regarding the quality of the teaching, the quality of the learning materials, how the platform worked for them, etc. And we really, really encourage you to complete the feedback for every module. I hope that has been helpful and informative. And I will now hand over to the next presenter.
Okay, so hello everyone again. First of all, I want to thank our speakers for their thorough presentation. So I see here that we already have some questions from the participants, and some of the questions are touching upon the different topics that you talked about. So shall we start with the first one? Okay, so the question is, hi, do you require a minimum level of English, and do I have to submit an official certification, or can I submit my English exams?
Yeah, so I can take that one. So just as a guide, if English is not your first language, we do ask for proof of English language. So usually this would be an IELTS score of 6, as mentioned, just for a guide. We do offer a free English test as well that you can take as part of the application process. But if you have previously completed a bachelor degree and the language of instruction, so it was English, and you can provide us proof of that, then you would not need to complete any English assessment or show a previous IELTS test for example.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tyler, for your answer. So next question is, what are the requirements to be accepted in the psychology course?
I'm happy to talk about that a bit. We did touch on it briefly. It's quite broad, and the best thing to do, honestly, is just to get in touch with admissions and speak one-on-one about your specific situation. But the requirements are either the two routes, the academic entry route or the work experience entry route. So, for example, if you've done a UG undergraduate degree in psychology or business or something in the UK, then that would sort of qualify you for the academic entry route. And then work experience, we'd be looking at about 3 years experience. So for example, in psychology, 3 years experience in some sort of psychological context. It doesn't have to be paid, it can be volunteering as well. But the best thing is to talk about your specific situation one-on-one so that you can get the right documents and things.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Meg, for your answers. So moving on to the next question. The question is, can I do an internship even if the course is online? And does the university have a career support office?
Go ahead, Hannah.
I
I can add to it. You go ahead.
Perfect. I can answer part of the question just about the careers office part. So we don't have a dedicated career support office, but like we mentioned, as a part of our student support teams, we do have a careers page that offers more advice that is specific to your degree program. So it is set up by the heads of the academic teams. So it is very specific to what you're studying. It can sometimes provide more detail in terms of different jobs that you might want to go into, and then also different career postings. So often that they'll provide more relevant, jobs that have just recently been posted, just so you can kind of see what's available in the field after you graduate. Sometimes in student support, we can also try and get you in contact with a specific academic that might be able to advise better on that. So sometimes if students do have career questions, we can find an academic that might be within the same career path that you have a question about, and they might be able to answer your career questions.
I was going to basically say the same thing, but I'll talk about sorry, the internship bit as well. As far as I know that definitely for psychology, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I don't think there's any built-in internships. This is something that, gosh, we'd love to do one day, but we would more encourage students to sort of use the knowledge that they are gathering from their degree and kind of, because also we have so many students from all over the world internationally, it would be so hard even to offer internships just within the UK. It's best to use your knowledge and the fact that you're studying a degree and go out there, and then we can write a reference letter showing, I don't know, how far you're in through your degree or something like that, because there's nothing built in, but everyone's different. We do have students doing internships and taking a break and doing things like that. Different for everyone, I'll say.
Perfect. Thank you both for your answers. So we have another question from one of our participants, and the question is, are your online degrees recognized?
Yeah, so I can touch upon this. As it was mentioned, when you do study online, your qualification is still awarded and validated by the University of Essex. So it is a recognised degree here in the UK and most other countries. However, we just do advise before enrolling that they do check with their sort of educational government of their country just to confirm. And yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tyler. So next question. Would I have to attend live lessons or are those registered?
Yeah, I can talk about that a bit. So there are different live lessons, I suppose. That the only real live things are sometimes they're called Q&A sessions, sometimes they're called seminars, sometimes they're called workshops. It's all the same thing. It's basically a lesson every couple of weeks with your tutor and the other peers in your class. And we really, really like to encourage students to attend these live just because it's a good opportunity to ask questions, speak to your tutor and help other people in your class as well by asking questions. And then also there's different tasks and things that, you know, to encourage student engagement in the live sessions. However, you don't need to attend these. It's not linked to your grade at all or your feedback at all. We understand again that there's students all over the world in different time zones, so you don't need to attend these live. They're all recorded and then put on the learning platform within 24 hours. So you wouldn't be at a disadvantage by missing them, but we just like to encourage attendance where possible.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Meg. And on that line, we have another question, which is what type of workshops and online social events do you organize?
Yes, so the workshops, I am coming from a very psychology specific academics team. Obviously, we have the different academics teams. Psychology is one of them. So I'm coming from a very psychology specific bit. It's different in every team, every subject department. So for example, for psychology, I mean, the workshops are what they are. They are in every module. They're live. Like I said, they're recorded. It's sometimes a bit of a lecture with questions and activities built in to kind of elicit responses from the class and help people sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Use critical thinking skills, for example, together rather than sat alone at home as you normally would be when you're studying. It's just a nice opportunity to get people together and also to further the module content. So for example, you've done the first week, the second week of your module, and then in that second week you have that live session. You're going to be consolidating all that knowledge from the first week, the second week, looking ahead to the third week and getting a one-on-one chance with your tutor. In terms of online social events, again, something we'd really like to promote in the future. I feel like a lot of students do their own kind of things, which is absolutely fantastic, especially like WhatsApp groups and that kind of thing. Lots of people link up by the forums, which is great. But for psychology, we do guest lectures. I'm just thinking of an example of something that's live that happens every so often that we encourage people to go to. We do guest lectures. So every, I think 4 times a year, quarterly, we have a guest lecture come and talk about a specific career in psychology or things like that. So there's always things going on, and that's again why I would definitely recommend any students that study with us to stay close to the student support team, stay close to the academics team, check what's going on, because there's always new things.
Great, thank you so much for your answer. And moving on to the next one, the question is, how do I apply for a scholarship?
Yes, so you don't typically need to apply for a scholarship. What will happen is students can submit their interest for a specific course, and then their admissions advisor can tell them the scholarship's available to them. So they will always be made aware of what is available to them, and then it will be applied automatically to their payment plan.
Okay, thank you. And talking about admissions, the next question is, how important is my GPA for the admission process?
Yeah, so typically we do not actually look at the GPA grade itself because, as mentioned, we are an international university. So we do have students from all over the world coming with previous qualifications completed within different countries. So what we do is we look at the qualification and we simply see what the UK equivalency would be. So for example, if you completed a GPA, I think that's American education up until 18, I think. So here in the UK, that is actually equivalent to UK GCSE, for example. So then we would respond back to the student and tell them what options they have available, what courses would be good for them to apply to, and etc.
Okay, thank you. So we still have a few questions left. And the next one is, what are the payment options?
Yeah, so the 2 main payment options are students can pay in a monthly instalment plan or they can pay in full upfront. Of course, if students do have a monthly instalment plan, they are more than welcome to pay X amount of instalments in one go. and such like that. But the two main ones are a monthly instalment plan and the in full upfront payment.
Okay, thank you, Tyler. And also talking about the payments here, we have another question, which is, could I suspend the duration of my studies for a short amount of time and suspend the payment as well?
Yeah, I can actually talk about this one. So during your studies, you do actually have the option to take a break from your studies. So it's really depending on your situation as well. We do have a couple of different options. So one of them is something that we have called an intermission. And this is basically if students want to take an extended break. This is typically a longer break up to 12 months. And in this case, your payments would be suspended during that period. And then when you were to return to the course, you would again begin your payments. So that's one option. This is for students like if you're going through something personal or you're unable to study at a certain period of time, that's something that you would have as an option. And then we do have other break options as well that are for more of a short-term period. So between your modules, if say, for example, you had like a holiday or something and you just wanted a little bit of a break, you could always take that break. But in that case, your payments would continue. So the option that we do have to take a longer break is sort of the only one where your payments would be suspended.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Hannah. So next question is, if I don't pass an exam, do I have to pay for the retake?
I can take this one as well, actually. So no, you would not have to pay for any retakes of an exam. I think it may be different for different courses, but I know at all postgraduate level, you do have 2 opportunities typically to pass your modules. So if you were to fail a module, you would have another opportunity to pass it and you would not have to pay anything else for that. Your payments would continue as normal if you're paying on, say, like a monthly basis, and you would still have that, we call it resubmission. So you'd have to go through a resubmission period in order to have that second attempt at passing. But no, you would not have to pay anything else for any resubmission work.
Okay, perfect. And now we have our final question, which is specific regarding the case of Ariola. She says, I didn't study education at undergraduate level, but I have courses related to what I'm doing currently. I own a private school in Nigeria, and I haven't worked as a classroom teacher, so I might not be able to provide a proof of work experience. Am I on the right path, applying for a PTE cert in education, or would you recommend another path?
I can touch upon this from an admissions point of view. So I think it is important to note to everyone who is in this webinar who is interested in the education course at postgraduate level, they are not teacher training qualifications. There is always some confusion, I think. So it's not a teacher training qualification, which can lead to qualified teacher status. The courses, I believe, are designed for sort of already qualified teachers or people in training situations to sort of enhance their skills and knowledge, maybe for more senior-based roles. So in terms of that, usually for the work experience route, if you do not have an undergraduate level, we do ask that you have 2 years sort of teaching experience or sort of experience in a training position. So if it would depend on what you are looking to achieve with the degree, are you looking to become a qualified teacher, or are you looking for more sort of experience for your school in terms of what teachers do, etc. So I would say with that one, I would speak with an admissions advisor directly, just so we can go through what you want to achieve from with the degree and see if the education courses we offer are correct for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your answers. And we are done with the questions now. So again, first of all, I want to thank our panelists for being here with us today, and also thank all of the people that joined us, and also thank you for all of your questions. And I'd like to remind everyone interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by Docsity that you can click on the link that I'm sending just now on the chat to request your certificate. And in the meantime, another thing that I want to remind everyone is that you will receive a recording of this webinar in the following days, and also an email with all of the relevant contacts so that you can get in touch with the University of Essex Online. So before we say goodbye, I would like to ask our panelists if they would like to leave our participants with a message.
Oh gosh, individually or as a group?
Yeah, as a group.
As you prefer, actually.
Go on, Hannah, you go first.
Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know. A
Tips
message.
for future
Yeah.
students, potential students.
Well, I guess honestly, my main tip for you all would just be if you do have any questions before the course or when you're enrolled on the course, like we said, it's really good to always, keep in touch with student support or keep in touch with the academics, because I think your experience would always be, what you make of it. So you can be as involved or as distant with the course as you'd like. So we always encourage you to kind of just be in touch and just be aware of everything that's going on. We do have many opportunities at the university. But not all of them would be mandatory. So yeah, I think that's my main advice.
Oh, you've taken what I was going to say when studying. Firstly, diving in and applying for studying is sometimes the hardest bit, and getting onto the course and taking that first step. So if you're thinking about it, just do it. Just start the conversation and see where it takes you. You might not apply, but you might, and you might find something that you're really interested in. And to always go above and beyond, because like Hannah said, there's the mandatory course, and then there's all of this wealth of knowledge you can get by speaking one-on-one with your tutors, for example, and opening a conversation about their experience and things like that. So above and beyond. Tyler?
Yeah, I was just going to say, don't be afraid to just go for it. I think we always do try to make it possible for students to access some sort of program, whether that be the new online professional courses, which then can lead to a master's as well by progressing. So yeah, I think just go for it. And if you are unsure about the course specifically, we can always help with that as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm sure that every little piece of advice will be appreciated. So thanks again to our speakers, and thanks again to everyone that decided to connect with us today. And I hope to see you again in the next webinar organized by Docsity. So I wish you all a pleasant rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.